Hey everyone, we're back today to see a good little Riven gameplay. Now this gameplay was done quite recently, I think it was yesterday. In this video, this was around 1520 yellow. Well, that was my current yellow when I did this. So anyways, I ended up playing this Riven game, and no one wanted to swap with me, so I ended up picking her first. I'm on the other team right here. Let me just start this up so that we don't have to see the boring start. Anyway, so I had to pick her first, and I ended up going against Irelia. Now, Irelia is a very good counter to Riven for the simple reason that Riven, she likes going in, stunning, and then basically getting out. She doesn't really like staying in longer than that, especially not against a Irelia. But Irelia, her passive, reduces CC for around when there's enemy champions around. Now what that means is that my stun is already very short, and I do not level that up first. And on top of that, she has a stun of herself. So after I do my burst, she is going to be able to do a lot of damage to me, especially with her true damage and her heal. So this was not a very good matchup for me. So I ended up picking Riven, and here I probably should have started off with cloth armor and pots. I was afraid of the Kazakhs coming in to invade our red, so instead of staying with my team, I do stay up at the red, so then in case they invade, we know that. Wow. Wow, that was really close for Kazakhs. What are his runes? I mean, that was ridiculously close. So I'm just going to speed this up a tiny bit. Okay, so I'm going to talk a tiny bit of my runes and masteries. With Riven, I went up into the offense tree to take up the armor pen. Then what I did is I went into the defense tree to get some armor and magic resist and the bonus HP. Then I go into the utility branch, take the flash upgrade, and of course the what's it called, move and speed bonus, and that's it. That should basically sum up all of your points. With my runes, what I did is I went for my standard off-tank runes. Now those runes are, I take a red armor pen, I go quintessences, I go with full AD, for flat AD, yellows I take armor, and blues I take magic resist. Exceptionally this game I did take, instead of taking armor magic resist, since I was against an Irelia and a Kazakhs, which is an AD jungler, I took some cooldown reduction and some armor, because I do have armor blues. That was a mistake that I did when I was younger, let's say. Anyways, so here I am gonna get ganked. I have pushed up quite well, and Kazakhs has backed. He has his boots, he's ready to do a gank, he has double buff. And here I probably should have expected the gank, just seeing her pushing up so much. But I am going to get jumped on here, if I remember correctly. No, he is going to jump. And here Kazakhs is going to do the error of turning back to let Irelia get the kill. So I'm going to just start running, and I'm going to get first blood off of that. And so I was really glad about that. I managed to take it. Well, the Kazakhs didn't actually do an error. He wanted to let his top get the kill so that she could get the advantage over me, and hence actually win the lane with a lot more ease, let's say. But then again, he did let me live, and I had the cooldown on my stun, which came at the perfect time. They were both in melee range, so I managed to stun her. She continued chasing me a tiny bit too far in there, but it was all good. Definitely not complaining about that. At this point, I really should have dashed into him, but I was just a tiny bit scared of the creeps. So anyways, here I am gonna fire him up a tiny bit. Oh yeah, so I want to actually talk about the Riven playstyle, because she has a very particular playstyle. Wait, yeah, first I'm gonna talk about this. So I'm gonna go in here and just start hitting him. I'm gonna use my ignite, and I'm barely gonna get out of there. That's thanks to the armor runes that I got into my blues. I'm sure of it. Anyways, so here I'm gonna do a huge mistake. I wanted to farm up. Whoa, I'm sorry. Anyways, I wanted to farm up there. I needed a tiny bit more gold to get Brutalizer and a Doran's Blade. But instead, I just did a mistake and went in there. Can I get my... Yeah, I can get a Brutalizer. I needed that, like, about 100 gold extra, and I would have gotten my Doran's Blade. But anyways, I took the Brutalizer here first instead of 2 Doran's Ring, which is blades, not rings. Because that's my normal build. I like being tanky, dealing DPS, which you can do definitely with 2 Doran's Blades. And of course you have lane sustain. But seriously, that I really took the cloth armor. I definitely felt more confident going with the Brutalizer, because I want to be able to do more damage than she does to me. So as I was trying to say, the Riven playstyle. She has a very particular playstyle, as she is not one of those I'm aggressive then defensive then aggressive. She's always aggressive. With Riven, what you want to do is you really just want to get in there and harass. You want to get your level 2 before your opponent, and what you do by doing that is that you manage to have more spells. So imagine, I like leveling up my my Q first. At second level, if I'm getting really hard harassed, for example, I'm against Nidalee, or maybe I'm going to be against their Renekton, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a point in my Valor, which is my third spell. But otherwise, I take a spell in my point in my second spell. And what that lets me do is it lets me be extremely aggressive, have CC, and just completely dominate the opponent before they manage to get up to level 2. That is definitely something you want to do. And let's imagine you're on the opposite side, you're on the blue side, and you have a Shaco jungle, or maybe a Lee Sin jungle, and they are going to start at red. What you want to do is you're going to go to your wolves, and at the wolves, you're going to take them at level 1. What is this going to let you do is you're going to get level 2 at the second creep that dies in lane. And if you get this, not only you have a gold advantage, because wolves get more XP than the creeps, and of course you get the wolves before you have to go into lane. Basically what happens is that you get your level 3 before your opponent, no matter what. You just stay in range for XP, and they can push as hard as they want. You will always get your level 3 before your opponent. What this lets you do is it lets you be even more aggressive. So you do a first initial burst of aggression at level 2 before your opponent gets up to level 2. What this lets you do is control the lane, lets you free farm basically, and you can of course zone out your opponent. Then you do a second aggression at level 3. Now and of course you take a point in your Valor, because you want to be able to, well, kind of minimize the amount of bursts that they do. Anyway, so as I was saying, and at your second engagement, you won't have your Ignite or Exhaust ready, because there is a few builds where you play with Exhaust and it works out pretty well. Whoa, that's a lot of spam. Sorry. And at your level 3, you want to be able to finish off your opponent unless they have healed up. In that case, you would go to level 5, where of course you will have Broken Wings. Yes, that's your first spell. Broken Wings at level 3. Is it Broken Wings? It is Broken Wings. Anyway, so at that point, what happens is that you have complete domination over your lane. Normally, there is no reason why you should lose it. Anyway, so here Irelia is going to actually get her ultimate right about now. Yeah, she has her ultimate now. So I dash on her at the really just wrong moment. I'm going to dash on her exactly when I shouldn't have. Because she's going to manage to... I don't know if you saw that, but I was midlife and she was at 75%. And I had my first and second spell on cooldown. So anyway, she doesn't manage to get out of that. And at this point, my team was like, oh, how did you lose your top and all of that. But in League of Legends, you really want to just stay positive. If you stay positive, your allies will not be as bad, let's say, as they could be if you are very negative. Anyways, at this point, Rammus is going to get spotted, and everyone's just going to dash onto him. That was a nice dash on their part. But here what's going to happen, Rammus does a lot of AoE damage. They're both going to fail their knockups, and and taunts, and they're gonna let Katarina pull off a complete and full ultimate. At this point, they are going to basically give a kill to Kanan, which is great. So yeah, definitely not complaining there. If Kanan can get fed in team fights, it's just going to be completely crazy because his ultimate on top of Alistar's CC and Ash's initiate, and of course my consistent damage in team fights is going to give us a huge advantage. So anyways, at this point, I'm going to try and avoid her ultimate because I really do not want to get too poked down. Here I'm going to try and zone her, but then the creeps are going to come up and I'm going to kind of move back because the creeps, ironically, really early on, they hurt a lot. Anyway, so I really was asking for help, I think. Or maybe Kha'Zix is saying that he's going to come up quite soon. Wait, let me just like rearrange this. Gonna put this up here. Jungler next to jungler down there. Carry up here. Mid down there. There. So at this point, I am about 20 creeps in front of the Irelia, and I have one extra kill. As you can see here, I have 700 gold extra. So very standard. At this point, so we did actually see him go there, and I'm gonna wait a tiny bit. Here, Rammus is gonna start going in. I'm gonna dash in, hoping to stun him, but I'm gonna fail that. He's gonna have to blow his ultimate to get out of there. Now Katarina's coming up, and actually we kind of picked her off before I really could have given any kind of support. So that is a shame. So yeah. Here you do see that she's gonna get caught, but Kha'Zix is gonna have a nice reaction to go off and help there. Puts down a ward at his blue. There, I'm not sure what Kha'Zix is doing, but definitely not the best of plays. So here you're gonna see me go in and do my DPS, do my combo. I'm gonna pick off a first kill here onto the Katarina. Then a second, now a second kill on the Irelia. And the nice taunt from the Rammus is gonna avoid the Kha'Zix from being able to jump out of there. So that was a 3-for-1 exchange. So I'll take that anytime. The sound might be a tiny bit loud. I'm just gonna turn this down a tiny bit, like so. There. So at this point, I just got a triple kill. I have now enough to get a BF sword. Now the advantage of getting a BF sword on Riven is that you completely dominate everything if you're not already doing so. I should probably talk about how you would build a Riven. In my opinion, there's a couple ways of building a Riven in a decent way where you're actually effective with it. Now there's the standard DPS build, where you go into Brutalizer, then you make Black Cleaver, Bloodthirster, Frozen Mallet, things like that. Maybe you'll make a Maul of Marmotius, you know, that kind of DPS path. But then, in my opinion, there's the second path, where you can make it into a Brutalizer, because Brutalizer on Riven is actually mandatory. If you don't get that, then you're kind of building her wrong. I wouldn't say that's the only viable way of building her, but it definitely does buff up her DPS quite a bit. But then after your Brutalizer, you can actually go into a Phage. Then you can make sort of some tanky items. Like you could rush the Black Cleaver straight after instead of making the Bloodthirster first, and that's gonna let you be quite tanky. Then you go into Ice Drinker, and those types of items. Here, what I really could advise you